So we are back at 42 Gear Street number 4, and I'm here with my new friend from Orange, Charlie. Hello, Charlie. I'm glad he's here because I don't have a huge amount of experience with Orange. I've played a lot on their Rockaverb, a little bit on the Dark Terror, but that's pretty much it. So today I thought it'd be cool to try out something I haven't tried before, which is the AD30, which I'm guessing is a 30-watt...
Class A amplifier made in England. It's basically our classic British crunch amplifier, like Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin, like they use that. It's it's also like Colin Scott's one of his favourite amplifiers as well. So it's classic.
Yeah, sounds cool. So it's a 2-channel amp as well.
Yeah.
So we're currently plugged into channel 1.
Yeah, so one is the clean natural channel.
And we say clean, but there's like a nice bit of breakup as well. So
Yeah.
It's not a traditional kind of really sort of clean tone. It's more of a breakup-y kind of edge of breakup tone.
Yeah.
Immediately it's warm, and I think that and the limited experience I've had with Orange amps is they always have that kind of warmth to them.
Yeah. Adrian, who designed this amplifier and he designs all our gear, he always references our Orange Pixonia amp, which is like a 1972 era amp, and essentially all the amps we do, it has to have that kind of all amps have to be linked to each other, otherwise when you buy an Orange you don't really know what you're getting. So it's creamy, it's saturated. It's got our own output transformer, which actually uses extra windings, and that makes it just carries the guitar a lot more blissfully than a lot of other products out there. But I mean, it's kind of what also adds to the reputation we have of a lot of our amps being a lot heavier. It's just because it's that transformer, it makes it really heavy.
Yeah, there's no getting around it.
No.
It's got to be there, but it's well worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even at 1 o'clock in the morning after your gig,
yeah,
it's all worth it for the tone. That was a really good description, actually. That's how I would describe it as well. A bit of a sidetrack here. You're not just Charlie who works for Orange. You have a family history with Orange. Do you want to just quickly tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Orange is a family company. My dad founded it in the 60s. It kind of started off where my dad thought his career was going to be in a band with Joe Meek, but unfortunately Joe Meek he committed suicide, and so my dad had all this equipment and he'd invested into his band, but he didn't know what to do, so he sold all of his equipment in a small shop he had, and the equipment sold really quickly. And the shop, by the way, is called Orange, so it wasn't. Orange amps wasn't the first thing. What started off Orange was actually a second.
So did he name the shop Orange?
Yeah, and he painted it orange. I mean, the local council hated the fact that he painted it orange in the 60s.
Where was it?
It's in New Compton Street in London, which doesn't exist as a street anymore, hence why the actual shop ended up disappearing in the late 70s. But artists would go into the shop, try out gear, they'd hang out there, and it was just a different vibe because all the shops in London were just black fronts and grey and brown shop fronts, and you had this boutique orange-coloured, bright orange shop with psychedelic lettering. If you go to our website, orangeamps.com, and click in history, you'll see photos of the shop, and you'll see in there is on the right there's a door, and down there goes into the Orange studio. So my dad also, with the money that he raised selling his band's equipment, and then he also started buying and selling second-hand gear. He started an Orange studio. Artists would go down there, use the equalizer on the mixer to try and get different kind of sounds, because it's 60s was so creative and it was such a big boom for new music. And artists and guitarists were looking for a new kind of tone for their amps. So my dad just came up with the idea of, okay, well, I'm going to start doing Orange amps as well. So I'm not just selling second-hand gear, I'm selling new gear. And everything my dad had learned up to that point, and what my dad wanted to put into these amplifiers and to be different, was kind of defined in that era.
That's an unbelievable story. And to be someone so close to it as well, that must be...
When I was a kid, honestly, truthfully, I wasn't too into my dad's brand. I was just kind of I was into computer games and kind of just doing my own thing.
But you play?
I thought I played, and when I started working at Orange, everyone just infinitely better than me.
It's not true, because I saw you play last night at a jam, and you were very good. So, yeah, that must have been so weird, being somebody who's into music and being somebody who plays and being that close to something so iconic.
I remember, I started getting into the brand and learning a lot more about it when one time my dad brought this like a draft version of the Book of Orange, which was a book about my dad's career at Orange, about how he started the company all the way through to all the troubles he's had, all the failures, all the wins, kind of like everything about the company. And I was helping him make this book, and through doing the book, I found loads of like every time there was like a news article about the company, in like the 60s or 70s, my dad would cut it out and put it into a box. Like he was just like,
So the whole thing's been documented.
yeah. So I'd find all these pictures of like BB King and always like legendary artists who are like using Orange. I was like, Dad, we need to like scan. I've got a scanner. We can scan this. We can put this into the book. We need people need to know about what Orange is, because a lot of this stuff was just like hidden away in like. I mean, we've had a whole history, but the internet wasn't such a big thing in the 90s, and people just heard about Orange through word of mouth and the odd advertisement. So with the growth of the internet and all this whole wealth of information, I was like, okay. After we did the book, that's when I really started like really appreciating what Orange was and what my dad had accomplished. So I also then put the entire book onto our website there. So now everyone can see what Orange is about and how we got to where we are. I love the brand, and through doing the book, that's where I got my appreciation for the family business. I just kind of wanted to be part of it. So I head up marketing at the company, and literally it's like the best job. My job is literally just showcasing and telling people all the good stuff that my dad's done, what Adrian, who does our design, does. I work with like the best people in the industry in this very small company called Orange. We don't have loads of investors. It's just like a small, tight knit. And so that's how I got into the family business. And we're still kind of like we're quite a small company. People always imagine that Orange is like big thing. I mean, in the 70s, my dad came up with this slogan called "Voice of the World," and even though we just had a small shop in New Compton Street. The idea was that at some day that Orange would be recognised all around the world. That's what the orange world tree represents. It's a picture of a globe with an orange tree growing from it. And it's something that's kind of recognised more recently.
Now, these pedals here, these are new, but they're kind of not new.
Yeah, that's right. In the early days, it was a struggle to get Orange into other shops. You'd go the sales guys would go to different retailers, and they would say, "Hey, I've already got Marshall, I've already got Fender, I've already got Vox. Why do I need like another amp brand?" So the sales guys were like, "Look, we need to quickly make some pedals so we can get our foot in the door with these retailers." All these retailers. So the idea was that, "Hey, I'm ready for another amp brand. Hey, I've already got a relationship with Orange because I stock their pedals." So
it's like a way in.
Exactly, foot in the door. So the idea was we didn't really we don't have any of these pedals in stock, and they were honestly kind of a bit forgotten by us. They weren't, and then we noticed on social media, on the unofficial Orange Facebook forum, and on Instagram, and also on other forums and online, people had rediscovered these pedals, and people were saying, "Hey, what's this thing?" And
develops like a bit of a cult following.
Exactly, yeah. And so people started asking us to remake them. So I put a post out on social media saying, "Hey, do you want us to do these again?" And everyone said, yes, bring it back. We asked people, put out some posts saying, please help us bring these back. So people sent us, people who own the pedals, sent us the dimensions. Some of us helped us with getting the colours right. They sent us high resolution photos, so I was able to get Harry, who works in graphics at Orange, was able to trace it and vectorize this original Orange logo, which was only ever used on the pedals, nowhere else in the company.
Wow.
And Adrian spoke to Mick, who's been with the company since the 70s. And Mick still had the original tea-stained schematics, still readable, very dusty stuff, and handed them over to Adrian. And Adrian was like, "Okay, well, this is cool, but Aid can add his own mojo and kind of make him more relevant and current and better design for today's musicians." So some of the things he changed was in the 70s, there wasn't really a standard for pedals in terms of input and output. You didn't really have pedal boards. So now he switched the input and output, so they're now consistent. You've got the output on the left, input on the right, as it should be on pedals, so they work with boards. Removed the battery and added a power input. and added an LED, so when you're on stage, you can see when it's engaged, when it's not.
Sure, everybody's thankful for that.
Yeah.
For that upgrade.
And some of the other things like the sustain is essentially like what we were calling the like a compression pedal, and he's using two different colours for the LED. So as you're playing through the sustain, as the compression circuit kicks in, it actually lights up purple. We kept the original size. The look of them is the same, but we could have made them smaller. But the whole point of these are something that people want. It's just the originals, you know.
As you were speaking, that was something I was thinking about, because you could have made them smaller with the pedal baby. You could have gone for a Class D power section. You could have made it smaller and lighter with the transformers that you use.
If you use Class D though, as soon as you plug it into like a PVC 412, you suddenly you lose so much power.
Yeah, but what it tells me is that you're not willing to kind of compromise on something that would be so easy for you to do.
Yeah.
For the benefit of tone and sound and sticking to the original. And I love that. I think that's so cool.
We're all about using analog design, analog circuitry, and not compromising. These are also made like the AD30. These are made in England as well. So we wanted to be as genuine as we can, saying we're going to bring these back. We're going to keep it as close to what the fans want. Let's start with the fader. Let's do some like clean stuff.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Cool. Okay, so this is the sound that we're starting with. So a clean sound with a bit of breakup. We're going to add the phaser.
The idea is that all of our amps, all of our products are very easy to pick up and use. It's hard to find, like Aid says, he doesn't put bad sounds in our products. So.
Cool, so we're going to bring the gain down, make it a bit cleaner, and see how it reacts with that kind of sound.
Give it a go.
You're right, it's completely usable. Like, you get like a bit silly towards like the very end, but just there's some moments where you want that.
Yeah.
So I think like between the whole range, the whole sweep of the control is all usable.
Yes, the idea is that we try to make our products so they're as versatile as possible. So you'll have loads of like blues musicians, you'll have like rock musicians, and it's kind of interesting. Like through this event here, when we've been demonstrating different products, you have a musician who tries out a product, and he'd be like, "Okay, this is like a really heavy metal product, like metal amp," and then another person say, "Okay, this is a bluesy amp."
Yeah, I mean, you can just look at the artists that use these products, like from the bluesiest artists, so like Jim Root and people like that.
Yeah, we got Led Zeppelin on the AD30, on the Rockever. We've got like Jim Root using the Rockever Mark III, and Stevie Wonder uses the Rockever Mark III as well. Just shows you opposite ends of the spectrum.
Orange are one of those amps that really kind of, they've got their sound, but it kind of like lets you have your own sound. It doesn't like sort of get in the way.
I guess it's like it's kind of misleading to kind of think that all the tone is like coming from the pedals or the amplifier. Most of the tone comes from the player's fingers, right? That's kind of what defines what the tone is. So you can have so many different iterations, so many different answers about what a product is for, but there's no wrong answer at the end of the day.
So we're going to now move on to the distortion. I'm going to do a bit of playing, and Charlie's going to just sort of move the controls around, and you'll be able to hear the difference it's making.
huge tonal range there, and
that covers so much ground.
absolutely, yeah.
With just 2 controls.
Yep, simple as. And it's got that like 70s vintage vibe to it still. Adrian started off with the original circuitry, but I mean, he improved it. He made it like, you know, like something a lot more relevant to the current musician, but still keeping that 70s mojo.
Yeah, I love that. We'll start playing with the sustain pedal, and Charlie will move through the controls.
We can see the purple is like coming in to show that.
Yeah, hopefully the camera does manage to pick that up, but if not, it changes from blue to purple, so you can see exactly what's kind of going on.
Yeah, essentially it's a compression pedal, and as the compression is like coming in, it's like giving you visual feedback. Yeah, so we bring in some distortion as well for a bit of fun.
Yes. You just cover so much ground with those 2, can't you?
Yeah, these are all like made in England. It was a lot of fun to listen to.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun to play. I've always noticed that orange amps feel really nice to play through. Yeah. Some amps really kind of fight you, but these kind of just let you be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Charlie, for doing this video with me.
Cheers, Jake.
Check out the website. All the links will be in the description below, where you'll be able to find more information about these pedals and this really cool AD30 amp. And we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Take care.